We've got 4, 5. We got 5, so we'll be all right. 5, that's 25 fouls. Yeah, we'll be fine.
You got 15 in their starting lineup. I mean, the challenge is specifically a Hammonds who's over 10 points a game.
Well, I think the challenge with their 3 and their 4 position is they shoot the ball extremely well, and they bounce the ball. So we've got to be able to not just guard shooters, we've got to be able to guard people who also put it on the floor pretty well.
I've obviously lost a couple of guys from the last few times you've played them, but Newberry is a familiar face, the challenges that you face with him and how familiar you are with his game.
He's played extremely well. He's played really, really well against us. Great athlete, shoots the ball really well. They run some ISOs for him. He's turned out to be a really, really good Big 12 player.
Phil Forte, I know that they had high expectations of him, and you know what he's capable of in the past. But how do they change without him? I mean, what do they do differently without him in the lineup?
Well, to my knowledge, they haven't ruled out him playing. I think he has. If he doesn't play today, he'll be able to redshirt. But from my understanding is they haven't ruled out him being able to play. So he shoots the ball. I mean, Travis has done a great job of having a guy that can really make shots. He's always had one. And
if he plays or doesn't, he's still going to play the same way, right?
I don't know, not necessarily. I mean, he's not a. They're playing now where they're trying to open things up and bounce it a lot more, and he's not that kind of guy. With him, they run a lot more sets, a lot more double screens, elevator screens, stagger screens. They screen every which way there is to screen to get him open.
So then you're going to have to do a little prep for that too.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. You mentioned in the past about that old Boston Celtics pop. You like to have that coming off the bench, and you've obviously got that with your 2 guys, Tariq and Jason. Talk about that a little bit and how you've been able to get those guys to play the way you want them to.
Well, I've always done that, but I've always had guys that were in it for the team, and those 2 guys, without a question, are in it for the team. They understand that they can make a bigger impact coming off the bench, and they've kind of start to, I think, relish that role. They know they're going to play. They know they're going to play. Those 2 guys have played as many minutes as probably more minutes than anybody else has. So it's not a matter of running out on the carpet. It's a matter of who finishes the game.
Is that a nightmare though for a coach putting together a scouting report when you got that many guys that you got to account for and prepare for?
I hope so. I think that our plan a year ago was to have more guys than what everybody else had, and be at a distinct advantage when we got into other people's bench. And I think it's, for the most part, it's worked pretty well.
And last thing here, those are older guys that you're bringing off the bench. They're not young kids, so they're experienced, and that's obviously helpful too.
Well, I think on any given day, our second team, so to speak, the second group in beats the first guys. Actually, I think if we would have kept score from the beginning till now, they'd have a decided advantage.
Yeah. Is there a particular plan going into any given game of when those guys do get out there? Because clearly, as you said and as they say, they feel like they're the second wave of starters more than they are bench guys.
I'm not that smart. No, I just kind of throw them in there when I think it's the right time. I'm not a big planner.
They say they sit together on the bench. Is that by plan, or is that just they just sit there and go over things? And
no, that's those 2 guys. I think as much as anybody on our team really want to win, and I think they've learned over the course of being here that the better prepared you are, the better chance you have of being successful. So I don't pay attention, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
If you could talk a little bit about the work ethic of these guys. I came in early. There are, 3/4 of your team's already on the court out here practicing. Talk a little bit about that.
Every time we've been successful, that's why we've been successful. And we have some older guys that, you know, do that. But we have tried. Everybody says, you know, you do all these interviews, and what do you look for? And after we went through, you know, the tough year, we're looking for guys that like to play. And so I try to stay away from any more recruiting people who really don't like to play, people who don't like to be in the gym. I want guys that love being in the gym, and these guys do.
Who do you learn that from? Do they tell you that? I mean, how can you figure that out through the recruiting process before you actually get them here?
Well, you watch guys. I mean, it's not hard to pick out guys that have enthusiasm and guys that don't. You know, you go to an AAU event, and then you go to the next event, and like, why isn't so-and-so playing? Oh, he was tired. He needed a break. Go somewhere else. You know, it's not. We're going to try, at least, to never recruit guys that aren't enthusiastic about playing.